Good, man. How are you? Okay. I'm looking to wear my Raiders costume today, but because we actually won a game. But I was like, well, I gotta come down off of my high. I don't want to jinx it, and, you know. Yeah, they won. I know, right? It's like, oh my goodness. I could have bought the whole, obviously. They finally won, and and actually have two winnable games. They play the Patriots next week. Yeah, we can get a little momentum going. Yeah, I think so. Again, great. Game yesterday. Yeah, it was, especially started out slow. And then it got good. We had 3 turnovers, like we haven't had 3 turnovers in about 3 minutes. Yeah. And 3 interceptions. We haven't done that in the paper. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just for flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo. 2 people dressed the same, and it's the most handsome man in America over here.
Burn your eyeball, eyelid, and it's in your beard. There's still one in here. Inside. Styrofoam?
And it jumped on It's not working either way. It was? Load the presentation. Like this. You can see it? You see it on there? Hang on. We'll just do it like that.
Mark, there you go. We can see the PowerPoint now.
It is.
Oh.
What's that? It says it's paused. So I'm just gonna do it like this. Maybe I can make it bigger. All right. Wow, you guys showed up today. Brought some energy. We got Israel Kamawakawiwe Alesh. Oh, okay, yeah, close. Well done, Stephanie. Nice. Some people came to play. I was gonna finish, so I brought this axe while Antonio brought his axe. So I'm just poor lumberjack. My wife, who typically requests that I not have a beard, said maybe you should grow the beard back. So maybe I'll do it belatedly. Well, we'll do a contest in a few minutes, but well done. You support the beard choice? Does Tara also?
Yeah, go for the beer.
Does Tara also? Okay. Nice. All right. Let's start off with gratitude, shout outs. What are we grateful for? Who can we shout out and give thanks to or for? Ms. Holmes.
I'm thankful for Erica and Ashley for doing a little switcheroo with the conference rooms, making it work for everybody. Appreciated.
Musical chairs.
Yep.
Who else?
I'm grateful to Cross Country for a lovely dinner last night.
That was great. Good time.
Oh, but Mike from, he was listening.
He's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Dressed as himself.
Mike from the listing agent on one of those, granted bought a car loan right before closing. Got a car. We're all like.
I did.
Brown too.
Kept his pool and gave us time to get our footing back and we got the dang thing done.
They don't get it. So.
Well done.
Huh.
Who else?
I'm really grateful for Carly. Last month I had a really bad day and she texted me, like, put the phone up and like talked me off my ledge and went out of her way to. I'm fine.
Yeah, be in your corner. Way to go, Carly. Two more. Jessica, you look like you're like waiting to say something. Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, okay.
I am grateful this week for my team. My team has really been supportive and really helping me get everything back in track, and I'm just grateful that I have them to rely on.
Here. One more. Who wants the last one?
Well, whoever that was.
You go.
I'm grateful for everyone's patience with the Winmore issue.
You're here.
yesterday, 'cause that was not fun for me either, but we're back in business.
Cassandra might be the least flappable person that I know, like. So many people would have like steam coming out their ears when something's not working, and you like, gosh, you just take it in stride. I am just like continually slow clapping your coolness under pressure. Great work. Each month we like to spotlight an agent that did something cool or is doing something cool. She's not in the room, but Amy McConnell was named the Star Women's Council Realtor Entrepreneur of the Year. So if you watch this recording, Amy, or if you're on Zoom, let's give it up to Amy. Also a shout out to Jen Mucci and the entire team. They hosted on Saturday her annual kind of half marathon, raising funds for Not for Sale, which is a kind of a anti-sex trafficking awareness organization. So super cool. Love all the different ways that our people work to give back in the community. Cassandra, I think you're coming up. I think I'm talking. Oh no, this is Amanda. Come on, Amanda.
You can go on my slide.
Oh, too excited to get that away.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this month, I think there were 9 new agents. Trevor Clear, who may be here with Antonio, maybe not.
Vacation.
Oh, good for him.
It's Slash. There's no Antonio here.
Sorry.
Slash.
My bad. Ashley Hirschberger, Trudy Hanhart, who is on Zoom, and I see her right now.
Hey,
She's
Trudy.
Joining us in our Tusk office. We've got Haley Honeycutt, who joined the web team, Tracy Pangrazio, also joining our Tusk office, along with Tammy McLaughlin joining our Tusk office. Nicole Manusakis, who's joining Powered by Homes Group, Trina Green, and then Abe Hobson Walker joining JMA. So welcome, everybody. I know Mason just got licensed. He's here. Anybody else that's new?
Nancy just joined us last month. So welcome, Nancy. Good to see you. I'm just
distracted by the really great stuff going on.
Yeah, it's hard to see past it. Hard to see past it. They have shown up in force. All right, Cassandra, now 'tis your time.
Well, September's profit share was $32,928, and year to date, that puts us at $313,582.
Wow.
What a year.
Wow, that's a great number.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Well done, Cassandra, for helping us to be profitable, and y'all for selling houses to create the opportunity for profit.
In our September cappers, we have Mercedes Dunn and Jared Dutton. Oh, man, look at all these top producers on this slide. As much as we love listening to me list names.
There's a bunch of
to
them.
get to your posts to share on social media.
Yeah.
And fantastic work, everyone on this slide and the next one.
And the next one, but wait, there's even more. Yeah, congratulations to the whole group of top producers. That's 3 deals or $500,000 in sales volume. So the market has been downshifting, but y'all are continuing to get it done. It's not any easier. So kudos.
And look at me, I have a planned announcement this time. Weird, I know. So Op City referrals, we're gonna add a step. We're having issues getting the paperwork into them. So what you're gonna do is you are either going to upload the joint settlement statement or you're going to send it to me and then I will pay you. Just to make sure that we can get the deal closed out in a timely manner, we have referrals that are like 100 days overdue and it's literally just the joint settlement statement that we're waiting for. They've been paid, everything else is good. So you're not gonna get your commission until you get me that information or you get it uploaded. You get that from title. If you need help asking for it, just let me know. I think that's it.
Want to get you paid and we want to follow the rules. This probably would have been a rich slide, but as a reminder, as you are prospecting, as you are cold calling, you're doing the things that you do, we are to pay attention to the do not call lists and not spam people that do not want to be spammed. It does apply to texting. All right, Kayla with Keller Home Loans and the monstrous sombrero, come on down.
Anybody on the way up? I had it goes with the t-shirt, so nacho average loan officer. There's a theme. It's not just for nothing. Don't walk around like this every day.
First off, I wanted to introduce Trenton. He's so excited to say hi. He's in the back.
What's up, Trenton?
Trenton is our new junior. So he's coming off of being a loan officer assistant. He's training into a loan officer role. So he's gonna be helping out with a couple of our other teams. But thank everybody for making him feel welcome. He's been in offices in his 4th week now. Just a quick market update. Getting a lot of people who are planning for next year. We do expect the rates to come down in an election year. Typically, that's what we look forward to. I don't know by how much. Some of the experts are hoping to be back down into the 5s. That would be wonderful, but we can't bank on it. Right now, a good way to kind of build your pipeline and prepare your clients. 2 ways. I mean, obviously, your first time home buyers, now is a great time to look at credit. We have 2 free tools that we can offer to them. We can do a soft credit pool, and then we can give them a customized game plan and have them on a time frame follow-up. They'll know exactly what they need to do to be ready, especially when those tax refunds come in and they have money to pay things off or they have a down payment. Now is the perfect time to send them to us, and don't feel bad if you're like, oh, they might be a mess. Do not feel bad. Don't hesitate to send us those clients because we're happy to help build them up to that point. But you also have the move up buyer that you want to also kind of pay attention to right now. A lot of them are like ready to look for homes, but they have all the equity in their current home. Or maybe they have debt that they want to consolidate, or maybe they need cash to make some repairs to get their house list ready. Now is a perfect time for them to get home equity lines of credit. Leverage the rising values, and get all those things accomplished so that they're in the perfect position for a non-contingent offer when the market does pick back up again. So those are 2 ways you guys can help prepare your clients, and we can help them get ready, build your pipeline for the spring market. Give you that. We have a couple of trainings coming up, and just a reminder, October 31st, we have a Keller Rewards program that we're going to be presenting. This is exclusive to you guys. We partner with different businesses. So this is a way to lead gen for yourself with 0 upfront costs. So please come out to that. We'll be providing lunch. And if you missed out on costumes today, it'll be another opportunity for a costume.
Yeah, you get 2nd place and need to double down, add that extra piece of flair.
I know.
The redemption
I gotta
tour.
think of a good prize for this one. Bring your A game, October 31st. So that's Keller Rewards, lead gen, no upfront costs. Just a reminder too, we are OFA approved, so we can help your clients with down payment assistance through OFA. Have a couple of success stories in the last couple of weeks with that, but also Offer Ready. We have a ton of success with that lately. We're getting them pre-approved. We're sending them straight to underwriting. So you get a certified pre-approval letter. You can start putting in offers with a 15-day close. So you kind of level up with those cash offers too. And in some cases, we're closing those in 9 and 10 days.
Wow.
So they work for sure. And then you have no surprises in underwriting.
I love how earnestly you're delivering this with a huge sombrero. I'm just like trying to focus and it's like wobbling around.
That won't hear anything I say.
No, I'm
I'm one of those
I'm
people.
listening.
I'm like watching it fly.
You should watch it on the screen right here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Oh, yeah. That's all.
Real time.
Yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. If you have any questions, any concerns, need a second opinion, just let us know.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
as always, Galen. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. The one, the only, Lynn Scott. I think we're talking websites today. Is that?
So last time you seen me, I said, no, we can't do websites, but we can do websites now. So if you're ready, send me an email. If you want to upgrade it, I'll upgrade it for you. However, I don't have a lot of bells and whistles yet. They're kind of slowly adding them. Home evaluation's not in, but sorry, I just need a little spot. Very common. It's so
Oh, yeah.
it's coming. As far as home evaluations, those aren't currently in, and team sites are not in yet, so they're individual sites. So if you want it, shoot me an email. I'll upgrade you.
When you said, if you're ready, what would
What
the
would constitute
profile
not
of being a
ready?
person that is ready versus
Um,
isn't ready?
If you have a lot of custom stuff such as landing pages will not be in.
Okay.
When you jump over, they'll be gone. So if you have them, they still work if you have your original link. If you do not, it's gone. And if you have a lot of reviews on there, let me know prior. I'll look before I upgrade you. That way I can copy and put them back over there because they don't magically transfer. I have to put them there.
Okay.
That way I can kind of control if you have any bad ones, we won't move them. We'll just get rid of those.
So kind of the more you've customized or the more you've built out your website, the more careful you want to be as it
Correct.
relates to switching to the
Because I
new
don't want
platform.
to take things from you that you currently had and appreciated, because I can't give them back quite yet.
Okay.
But it's coming, and I would say every day we learn more and more about them, because they kind of rolled this out with like, here you go, and didn't tell us how to do it.
Yeah.
So we're learning as we go, and the more I get, the more knowledge I get, the better I can make your websites, because I like them.
Mhm.
They're just not, everything's not in yet.
How are things going? I'm putting you on the spot. How are things going with campaigns right now with all those changes?
Well, that's, if you've met with me and we can get you rolling because you actually own your Facebook.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many people do not actually have admin rights to their own Facebook. Surprise.
Hmm.
And a lot of times, be careful what marketing company you let use your Facebook, because some of the contracts that I've read lately, they own them. So if they, how some of these are written, where they actually take over admin privileges, they become the admin. And sorry, but you just lost your page. So make sure you read contracts, because I've read several lately that are terrible.
Hmm.
And I don't want you to lose your business page if you've done a lot of work to it. So
Mhm.
just be mindful of that. Read them, make sure you own them. And some of them are tricky where I still can't figure some people's out. I have no idea what they did. They either made pages, deleted pages. So again, I'm working with you. Just let me know if you have issues. I know there's a couple of you I'm still working on. And I'm also having an issue with the Boomtown group. I have tickets in for you guys with your contacts. It's coming. I don't have an answer yet because of the string issue that came through.
Okay.
It's in progress, wherever Ken is. I mean, I can feel it.
Bad juju.
That's really about it.
Okay.
What's new for Command.
Awesome. Thanks, Lynn. Appreciate you. All right. I think it's that time, Amanda. Are we frozen there? Okay. Sandy was just standing very still, so I thought we might be frozen. All right. If you showed up today, in costume, come on down. We're gonna do crowd vote. Is that right? No. You don't. You're in. Carly, Holly, Kayla, Flash. And if we have anyone, are there any Zoomers that want to make sure that we can evaluate? All right.
Try not to hit everybody.
Nice. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you got that. All right, starting with Caitlin. No. All right, Caitlin, you start us. Tell us what you are, just so we're clear. Oh my goodness.
up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Patty?
President.
Yeah.
Halloween pageant queen.
Yes.
We are scheduling. There's never enough of them. We figured we needed more.
That is. And you are entering as the we, or are you each?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're the we.
Scott's on his phone there. Okay.
All of us together.
That is amazing.
I'm clearly one of the most badass guitar players that's ever lived.
I like this.
It's not plugged in.
This is my normal daily attire.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Grab it.
Yes.
Hippie, I was gonna do Chong, but I didn't have Cheech, so.
I'm Nacho, average loan officer.
That is true. All right. So I think we're gonna go, Amanda, how you want to do this?
The thing, the hand thing.
Okay, you be the hand, and I'll be the ears.
Spirit finger. Short.
All right. So we're gonna do the volume
Oh.
test. And
Oh, okay.
we'll cheer and then you'll really cheer. All right, let's go. All right. Preston, okay? That's around. Yours aren't perfect, but I think that was Slash. Slash took it home. So, well done. Part of your choice. Oh, yeah, okay, your.
Your prize, I'll give it to you later. You're
Okay,
busy.
yeah.
It's a Legacy Group branded road safety
Yes.
kit,
A brand new car.
a brand new car safety kit.
There's a car involved, but it might help stuff like that or not.
All right, you didn't enter, but you need to do the.
See that
Okay,
one?
stand up and put it out.
Should've got out of the group.
We got Harry Potter here. That is pretty good.
What
I
can I
did,
do?
another almost that I did today was my wife looks up bald costume ideas. And I almost did, if I had the right shirt for it, I would have, but Charlie Brown.
Okay.
I'm in Columbus, so I'm gonna refer now.
Okay, what's your name?
My name's Emerson,
Um,
EMERS.
Thank you, Nikki. All right. Rich, we have so many things to hear from you today. Come on up and give us some updates and then we'll dive.
I think that.
Gotta coordinate.
Planning
Planning has never been my strength.
Have any of
Okay.
you guys seen, Bobby Holmes just sitting up here in the front acting all like cool, but have you guys seen his TikToks?
Yeah, if you,
Any of you, cause you could have played some of those, that would be very good. If you are not good with TikToks, check this guy out on TikTok. Like, it was the last.
oh no, I forgot. I need to go back. Okay.
We didn't get called down.
Okay, a lot? All right, I'm watching it tonight. They were on The Price is Right.
Yes.
The Amazing Race edition? Okay.
My ultimate dream is to be on The Amazing Race. We will be on The Amazing Race, but that's, oh, we will.
Oh. Huh?
Well, anyway, TikTok's very, very good. Very fun.
It's Bobby Blaze
Thank you.
26.
Bobby Blaze 26. Follow on your TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I just go into Safari every time you send me
Go
one.
on YouTube Shorts and Instagram too. Now you're getting way too technical.
Rich.
That's all the technical I wanna get.
We need you
because
closer
probably
for-
crap on it.
For the video.
All right, sorry, I just want to say in front of that. We're gonna start with MLS updates. We'll go through legal updates towards the end, and Mark and I are gonna talk a little bit about what's happening with NAR, what you should be doing in your businesses, and kind of if the public is asking questions, what to go over. So first thing, if you guys have not been reading and just keep checking, read later in the MLS, you are in for some treats. They are changing almost everything. The dashboard is gonna be different. The statuses of things are gonna be completely different, so I'll give you a few of those, and there is a MLS class coming up on October 12th and October 30th at 2 p.m. They're webinars. Highly suggest that you watch them, or you're gonna be trying to input listings and not have a clue as to what you're doing. All right, so some of the ones that we've done. Carl Demuse is retiring. If you know who he is, he's the current CEO, so they are doing a CEO search. I don't know what that's going to change necessarily. But if you know of anybody that's looking to be a CEO of the MLS.
Looking for a side hustle? Anyone?
Another hat?
Sure. Absolutely. MLS Touch is an app that's available on your phone. You can use that and it's better than logging in through Safari. It's much more user friendly and it keeps you logged in. So if you are on the go, you don't have to keep logging in using Safari all the time. When it logs you out, it will just stay logged in. It also saves your information for your searches, all that fun stuff is in there. But you can view all your contacts. So if that's where you keep them and you're on the go, you have that. And you can also text listings from that, which is pretty nice too, to get those to your clients. So as soon as you see it pop up, rather than emailing it and maybe getting stuck in their email, you can text it right from there. So November, I think it's 7 changes, which is election day, input changes. Multifamily is no longer going to be called multifamily. It's going to be called residential income. Right? Little weird. I didn't make these up. Don't.
You're on the board.
I'm not on that. All right, commercial is gonna be still commercial sale or commercial lease, so they're gonna separate those, which I think is actually pretty nice, because a lot of times people don't realize that you can put in a commercial lease because it just says commercial. Rentals, we're gonna give you this one, residential lease. rentals are going to be residential lease. So not your, like, those are the ones that we'll probably see a lot of property management companies using.
Yeah.
And so you'll see the distinction there. A new button is gonna be save as incomplete, which is really nice. So instead of saving it and it gives you all those errors for incoming, saving it for incoming, you just save as incomplete. It will save all that information. It sounds like some of the other MLSs have auto save. We don't have that, but you'll want to make sure you click on save as, well, instead of save as incomplete, you won't have to click on save. So
That's nice.
that'll be good. Public remarks area decreased. If you didn't notice, or you will notice, it decreased from 1,500 characters to 1,000 characters. And they did that because all of your photos now, if you're not paying attention, AI is automatically saying what that photo is. So if it's a living room or a family room or an office or whatever it is, if you don't go in there and update those, AI is automatically filling that stuff in. So I would definitely check it. You definitely don't want anything saying living room, that's a kitchen.
Wrong.
There you go. See, there you go. So I would definitely check that.
Type it in when you put the pictures in, then it will be
Yeah.
there.
You can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you can put descriptions of. So they have canceled there, change that. Let's see, 2024 changes, MLS IDs, not that it's a huge deal, but I kind of think that this is actually pretty nice. How many of us judge an agent that got licensed, and sorry for those of you licensed in 2023 or 2022, but how many agents that have been older agents, like see a license, they're like, oh, I gotta work with this newbie and they don't know what they're doing yet. Not any of our agents, because we train you well, but the other companies, MLS IDs will be random now. You will no longer be logging in as your license number. Those of you that have them will, but those of you starting in 2024, it'll be a completely different login. They'll be just random. And it will start to list your license number separate from your login ID. Little strange. Again, talked about the new dashboard and then the webinars coming up. Listing falsification policy that they came out with $1,000 fine. They are not messing around. If you take a listing and you don't have the right listing owner or executor or power of attorney or whatever it is, and you list that property and you enter into a contract and then later find out that you didn't have a legal representative sign that listing agreement, you will be hit with $1,000 fine. And how they're going to find out is because when you can't close on that property and you have to say, oh, I didn't have a legal listing agreement, now it has to go through probate. You're going to have to take it off the market. You will get $1,000 fine. So they are not messing around. And the other thing with that $1,000 fine is going to be if you falsify the closing date. So if for some reason you say it closed on the 10th, when in fact it really closed on the 8th or the 7th, you have to use the settlement date or the recording date. Those are the only two options. So you can't just go in there and put today's date, even though it filed 2 days ago. You'll also get up to $1,000 fine for that. So they're getting your money. Let's see. All right, then we can kind of talk about, let's talk about withdrawal with and without release. A lot of you now are doing the price reductions for listings that we didn't have to do before. So what I would say with that is anytime you have a listing agreement, let's say I take a 6-month listing agreement, right? So if I'm going to withdraw that property in that 6 months because I want to relist it and put it back on the market at a new price after 30 days or 40 days or whatever it is, you have to do a withdrawal with release. If you do a withdrawal without release, that means for the entire period of the original listing agreement, you cannot relist that house, not you, anybody else from this brokerage or another brokerage. Okay, so if you do relist a property that is withdrawn without release in that original listing period, you are going to get audited by the MLS and they will ask you to change it. They could fine you, but they will definitely ask you to change it. So if you're going to relist a property, I know there are teams that after 30 days will take a property off the market and relist it. It needs to be withdrawn with release. Okay. Any questions? And then we'll go into kind of the legal update here with NAR. So go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. So as a preface, I think it's easy. If you're anything like me, it's easy to, I don't know, trust that things will always be the same and things will be fine with regards to our industry. And I'm always grateful, but I think in times like this, particularly grateful for people like Rich. And we have folks that are on the board of STAR and various committees with Ohio Realtors, which makes a difference because our industry being protected and our livelihoods being protected is obviously a core matter. If you are on a board or committee on that level, could you raise your hand just so we get a sense of things?
Yeah.
we got some fantastic representation. So right now, you guys have heard, there are lawsuits going on, and so we want to have a more in-depth conversation about the what, like what is true and, you know, kind of fact versus fiction. And as a preview, in a couple of weeks, we're going to do across the 3 market centers, a more kind of practical, so what conversation around how do we handle this? What should we do to incorporate certain things into our business? So this is kind of a part A of, or part 1 of 2, though hopefully this will be helpful. So Rich, what's going on? What's the what?
Yeah, so I mean, there are still 2 pending lawsuits. The lawsuits you've seen, we talked about last month that RE/MAX had settled in one of the other companies. Keller Williams is still in it on the growth call that we had on Monday. Or was that the all leadership call? One of the 2 calls. They
Yes.
basically said that, you know, Keller Williams still feels that we've done nothing wrong as an industry. It is the best way to get a buyer's agent paid is still having the seller pay the commission, and that they're going to see it all the way through to the end. There is pending litigation that I think it starts October 16th, if I'm not mistaken. And that's going to be the first trial. Now, whatever happens with this trial, they will appeal, whether it's NAR, whether it's, you know, whether NAR wins or the other, the plaintiffs win. Either way, it's going to be appealed. So nothing immediate changes. So we thought until you start reading some of the headlines with Inman, where you see that large brokerages, Redfin and RE/MAX, have both said to their brokers, you don't have to be a member of the National Association of Realtors if you don't want to. So what distinguishes the difference between being a realtor and an agent is our code of ethics. So one of the things our code of ethics says that all offers must be presented. So you may think, NAR's really never done anything for me. And you might say, I pay my dues and what do I get from it? Well, you actually get a lot of things that you may not realize. But one of the things is following those ethics. Can you imagine giving another agent an offer and they have no duty to present that offer whatsoever? Okay, well, that's gonna be a problem when it comes to NAR and brokerages leaving. I will say, we haven't had any discussion on it. I don't know if Keller Williams as a company has any discussion on it. I'm very passionate about Ohio Realtors and NAR. I can't imagine us leaving it. I think that's a designation that does us very well. I hope that we win the lawsuits. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
What's getting upstream of that? What is so the plaintiff versus NAR, what's the primary complaint that the plaintiffs are bringing forward?
yeah, so they're saying that we as real estate professionals have inflated the cost of houses to cover our buyers agents commissions, and that it's anti-competitive that the seller should have to pay a buyer's agent. If a buyer's agent wants to make a commission and a buyer wants to be represented, that they should in fact get paid by their buyer. That the seller is also being overcharged and over them inflating the price of the house in order to get themselves paid. We all know that that's not accurate, and this is how things work, and this is the way that it will probably always work, with some tweaks that we're going to see. Things that we've already seen, the second largest MLS in the country has said that you don't have to offer any compensation. You can offer $0 of compensation to a buyer's broker. I've heard that MLS now is toying with that, and I don't know what the answer is, but I can tell you as of right now, you have to have at least $1 or more compensation in MLS now.
$1, Bob.
Yep, $1, Bob. And it is not a winner because there's now addendums being put in MLS now that say the seller will not negotiate or pay any buyer's agent or broker commission.
How many of you have seen that on listings that you've shown recently? Just a couple of you? I know I have.
And so basically what that means is you're going to show that property for free. And I say that you're going to show that property for free because as a realtor, you don't have a choice but not to show that property. If your client says, I want to see this property, you have fiduciary duty to do what's best for them, not for you. So that means you have to show them the property unless you say, hey, I can't show you any properties because I'm not going to get paid. Go find another agent. You might have that. The better idea is really to start using buyer agency agreements with your consumers and having the conversation up front with them about how you get paid and what it means if there's no compensation offered on the listing side. It's not something that we do in Ohio. It's not something that we've done, at least in Northeast Ohio. I will say that. Maybe they do it in other areas. When we were on calls a few weeks ago with the operating principals from Michigan, I can tell you they were all flabbergasted that we did not have buyer agency agreements signed by every single consumer.
Yeah, it's standard up there.
It's standard up there, and all of the Keller Williams do it, and there's multiple reasons for that. I mean, it doesn't just go over your compensation, but it says what you actually owe duties for to that consumer and what they owe you. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't break it or you can't break it, but it does mean that if we're sued or you're sued, you have extra protection in there that says, this is what I told you I was gonna do, this is what I did. But it also holds you as an agent more accountable, as opposed to just saying, well, I owe you fiduciary duty and what I do is not in writing, so whatever I do, and what I don't worry about, right? It holds you accountable. It distinguishes the difference between a true professional and those that are just gonna be the fly-by-night agent that, you know, takes a buyer out and shows them a property and gets paid $1. That's competitive price.
Yeah, it's always been a good idea, an unenforced good idea, right, Rich, to utilize a buyer agency agreement. And now we're saying the failure to utilize it could leave you earning $1 before commission splits on the wrong type of deal. Yeah,
I have a question, like when I deal with a lot of buyers that use like down payment assistance, how would you think you would get paid when they don't even have the money to have the down payment?
Well, and that's the argument that NAR has as well, and any realtor in this room, by the way, would have that, and I think any realtor that understands the business would have that. You have buyers that can't afford barely their down payment. I mean, they can barely afford their home inspections or possibly their appraisal fees that they're paying up front. So where are they gonna get the money from? And unfortunately, that's whatever happens in these lawsuits is gonna depend on what we're going to do as an industry. Does it mean that all of a sudden buyers don't have any representation because they can't afford it? Well, that's kind of unfair, right? Is the federal government gonna say, well, now we're gonna work with lenders and we're gonna allow you to finance your commission into that? Are there gonna be companies that maybe allow you to finance or make payments of interest-free payments to your realtor over a period of 6 months to pay it off or a year? We don't know what's going to happen in order to get you paid, but I will say it shouldn't, as scary as some of this can be, it shouldn't scare you so much, because if any of you were back in the business, back in the 08, 09, 10, 12, right after that, you'll remember that listing sellers that couldn't sell their homes were offering buyer broker bonuses to agents to sell the home because they couldn't get their house sold. You're gonna find that the majority of people, you're gonna have the majority gonna say, yes, I'll pay that X in commission. And I'm gonna pay that because I want my house sold and I'll be able to pay the buyer's agent a commission. So even though they're saying you don't have to offer a commission to a buyer's broker, it doesn't mean you can't, right? So if you talk to a buyer that says, I can't afford to pay you, there are a couple ways that you can try and figure it out. You could ask the seller basically to give the buyer a credit back for closing costs up to the full 6%. They don't oftentimes need all 6%. Maybe they need 3%, maybe they need 4%. And that commission could go towards, or that additional closing cost could pay you as the buyer's agent. You might negotiate with them up front to say, I have a flat fee and this is what it is. If you can't afford this, I'm not going to work with you. Or you can say, I'm going to work with you, and if we happen to go to a house where I get $1, I get $1. It's really going to come down to what your vision is for your business and how you want to control your buyers. As far as we're concerned.
Any comments?
Oh,
Because
there's comments, okay.
Reese was made a hilarious comment.
Oh.
I'm gonna end up with 64 cents after splits.
Hang on one second, we'll get Holly and Marcy. What was the other one? You can't see it, it's up there.
Forgive me.
Well,
our buyers? Oh, yep.
Go ahead, Mark.
I can't. There's
Well, our buyer's agency agreements change to put a minimum percentage. The answer is no, because commission is completely negotiable. And remember, it's negotiable with a listing person. We have 7% pre-typed in there and you can change it. On the ones that we have right now, there are 2 different buyer agency agreements that you have in Dotloop. One is one from years ago, probably Marcy had it made when she owned the brokerage, but it's been there for a very long time. That one is available, and Ohio Realtors just came out with one that's 3 pages. I recommend that you use that one. It's in Dotloop. It's available to you, and you can put the fee or percentage in that you expect to get paid. Okay. The other thing is, it's non-exclusive. What does that mean? Either party at any time can email each other and say, I don't want to work with you anymore. It's over, that's it. The buyer's agency agreement also does not mean that another broker owes us a commission if your buyer goes rogue and goes and buys that with another person, another agent. We still get nothing. That agreement is between the brokerage and the buyer. I said this before and I'll say it again, unless things change in the future, I cannot see us as a brokerage suing a consumer for a commission. It may change in the future if things with the NAR lawsuit change the way that we do business, but as of right now, I can't see that happening. Marcy, you had one question. And then,
Yeah, I was gonna ask number one, and when we know more, because right now we're kind of in limbo,
we're in limbo.
but thing is, I mean, I'm kind of just doing what I've been doing. And even if the sellers, when I'm doing listings, and I'm pretty heavy on the listing side. When you explain it, I think if you show it to the seller that what a benefit it is to offer that commission, you're gonna
Yes.
attract more buyers and more buyer agents.
That's a great angle.
Where if you limit it, you're gonna limit the people who are even gonna wanna show your house because, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
And explain to them that the buyers are having a hard enough time coming up with down payment and closing costs. And then add a commission on top of it, they're gonna eliminate your house.
Right.
So we need to be proactive now, so that even wherever this lawsuit thing goes, but, and I tried to preach to my people too. Get those buyer agency agreements signed, because even if legally they don't stand up or whatever, the thing is if you have something in writing, sometimes when people sign a buyer agency agreement, they know what your expectations are. And Gina did a wonderful class, and I'd love for her to do it for everybody. She explains to the buyer why it's a benefit to you to buyer agent. And that's something she really would love to see for all of us. We'll put it on the calendar in November.
There you go.
No, but it's amazing because the people feel like, my, she's gonna do this for me. And all I have to do is basically promise my loyalty. I mean, and then she tells them, I get X amount, so whatever. I mean, everything is, expectations are up front. They know that you're working for them, not just doing searches on the MLS.
And on the 25th, we are gonna have a person that's gonna go over for about a half hour why you should be using buyer agency agreements and what it means. So those promises that you're talking about, you're right, all of the duties that you owe them and all of the services that you're giving them is very small for asking for their loyalty.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was so smooth and. I do too.
So
You had, I'm sorry, Holly.
It's pretty much the same thing,
Okay.
that I think is most, what's super important is you're not comfortable to get really comfortable with your script on commission and, you know, even though we don't know, it's still gonna be in their best interest and everybody's, I think, to pay attention.
Carly?
One other thing too, I just want to mention, it's been so helpful for me, even more recently now, especially when people think they don't need a realtor. Is that I think we need to let people know that because we do split our commissions. I mean, they're split in 4 pieces. There's 4 pieces to every commission. They don't know that.
Right.
They look at the top number and think that's what I'm gonna get, and that's in my listing presentation. So that I cover that, and it's good that even the buyers know that, because they think you need $9.
Yeah, it's
They see
interesting.
what that is, like overhead and.
I had an opportunity, Ken asked me to speak at one of the things that he's involved in his community, which was really eye-opening. There was a gentleman there and he said to me, how can you justify making $18,000 on the sale of a $400,000 home or whatever versus you're doing the same thing on a $100,000 home? I said, the process may be the same, but it can be distinctively different considering that I've taken that buyer out to show them 15 houses and I've sat there during either inspections that have fallen through with a deal has fallen through, or I've gone to a property for multiple repairs or any of the things that I've done. And by the way, we don't get all of that commission. So you're right. I think it's with anything. We do a bad job of telling our own story. And that's the problem with NAR. That's the problem with OR. That's the problem with all of us. We talk about how we sell houses and that's what we do, but we do so much more than sell houses.
Yeah.
You're all in your communities and you do so much more and we don't tell that story.
Yeah, it's a great point. Carly, were you gonna jump into something?
So if they eliminated the buyer's commission or the buyer's agent representation for a buyer and the buyer's dealing directly with a seller,
isn't there some legality there too as well? Like now the seller is fully responsible for all of the disclosures and all of the things because they're dealing directly instead of having an agent as a liaison, right? Like working in, so would that be something you could explain to your clients as well? Isn't there would be more legality on, you know,
On the listing
on
agent side.
seller,
Yeah.
by not having the representation or the buyer not having representation.
Right.
Yeah, but we're not saying that you'll have buyers and sellers typically working together directly. It's more of, I'm gonna be a listing agent. And
Being a dual, so there'll be dual agents.
there may not be dual agency. The state is also looking at that to see if they're gonna outlaw dual agency. There are 12 states right now that require a buyer's agency agreement. And I will tell you, there are a lot of states, and I don't know the number, and there are a lot of brokerages that will not allow you to practice dual agent.
Correct.
So,
Can you tell us back, this is so long ago, it's aging me, Marcy, I know remembers this, you always only represented the seller. When I started in real estate, there was no buyer representation,
Yeah.
everyone represented the seller.
so that's how.
Most do what they did. Right, but that's how the contract read, remember, it was like, even when you wrote a contract for a buyer, it said that everyone represents only the seller. Aren't we going backwards to that?
It is somewhat, it's super hot in here, yeah, it is somewhat going back to that, unfortunately. It would be where the seller is represented, the buyer is not represented, but it doesn't mean that another agent would still be representing the seller as well, because you have that confidentiality that you wouldn't have. I mean, I'm not gonna know what the seller's net is, I don't represent the seller in that fashion, so it would be basically an agency disclosure form, would probably say I represent the seller and the buyer has no representation. But I'm acting as a dual agent, but I'm not getting paid to be a dual agent, and I'm also not representing the buyer. Because it's really whatever on that form, right? I mean, that's ultimately how representation works. I could say I'm working for you, but if I check on that form that you have no representation, I've done nothing for you.
Yeah.
Right? So, it will be interesting to see where it goes. I would just say, you know, be aware of when you're gonna show something, start looking at the commission, even though you're not supposed to look at the commission and you have a duty to still show that property. Pay attention of whether or not you're gonna get paid $1 or if you're actually gonna get paid something. It's just not worth it.
Yep.
You can't write anything on purchase agreements. I've heard different things in different groups, but some people they write it on the agreement that mentions 50.
So.
Yeah, where should that go?
Well, so there's two trains of thought. There is one company that's regional here that has the commission on their purchase agreement. We don't, a lot of other ones don't, and the reason for that is because most of the attorneys have all said the purchase agreement is between the buyer and the seller. The commission is between brokerage to brokerage. It doesn't belong on the purchase agreement. And I feel the same way too. I don't know why it should be negotiated on the purchase agreement. But I can say, I've heard people say, put it on the purchase agreement. Yes, you could put it on the purchase agreement, but the problem is until all of the rules change and catch up, the MLS is the contract in which brokerages get paid. So if you agree to show that property and it has $1 in there and you show it, that's all you're legally entitled to is the $1. You agree to show the property, that's the contract. So you can write anything you want on the purchase agreement, but I would say that ethics wise, again, the rules haven't caught up to what's going on with the litigation. You could probably be found in violation of the realtor ethics because you are trying to put your needs ahead of your buyer's needs to get paid instead of them getting the house.
So legally speaking, the only time, if it says $1 on the MLS and you show the home, that is basically saying, that's what I'm agreeing to be paid. If, so the time to negotiate that is
Before you start the
beforehand.
showing.
So if you've done that, where should that be captured?
It has to be from the listing broker. So you have to contact the listing broker, not the manager, but the actual broker of record for that company, and you have to negotiate with them and say, I want X in commission, and they have to put it in writing that says, I'll.
An
pay you
email.
X. An email's fine.
Yeah.
Or you could have your buyer agency have them in there too, because the buyer's gonna come.
If the buyer is gonna compensate you, but I think that we're talking about from a listing perspective, if it's $1 and the buyer doesn't have any money, let's say.
Yeah.
To pay me, what do I do?
Because that stuff's happening right now.
It's happening right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Can you, so say they posted it on the MLS for $1. and
This is
then-
where entrepreneurs thrive, just so you know. Did you hear that? Thank you. Very clear.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Right?
Yeah. On the addendum that they add that says $1 and 0%.
before showing, can you cross that off, have your buyer sign it, rewrite in a number, send it to the listing agent and see if they would entertain? If you changed it to, and they explain it, say, hey, my buyer, they really want to see your house, they don't have the funds to pay a buyer's agent. So even if we did, our offer would be X amount lower. Is there any way we can roll it in here, have this signed, and then? There's a lot of creative ways and that could work, but again, you're not going to the listing agent, you have to go to the listing broker.
Okay.
So that's the thing, is you can say all day long, and the agent can promise anything in the world that they wanted to, and you could.
But
go
the broker's
through with
not
it, and
obligated.
The broker's not obligated. So I think that's where the uncomfortableness, I think, would come in as a buyer's agent, is to be like, hey, let me go call the broker of Cutler and say, hey, I want you to pay me 2% or I'm not showing your property. Or my buyers really want your house, but we're not gonna write an offer on it or even show it if you can't pay this.
Yeah.
Okay, well, again, where are your ethics? Where do they lie? Is it with your buyer or is it with yourself?
then.
And I'm not questioning you. I
Right.
believe
Oh, yeah.
that you need to get paid. I'm just saying that is a question that's gonna come into it from the other side. Is gonna say, well, who do you value, yourself or your client?
We'll do Diana and then we'll transition because we could do this forever.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question then is, if you call the broker and the broker says, no, we're not gonna pay you anymore because they didn't get any more from the
Yep.
seller. So
Yep.
they don't have the money to pay you. And then you say, okay, well, I'm not showing the house, then,
I wouldn't say that.
yeah, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
like, are you gonna be in trouble with? I mean, that broker then could turn you in because.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It's an
It's a big
ethics.
can of worms.
It's a big can of worms
Yeah.
because the rules are not catching up with what's happening right
Yeah,
now.
with the practice.
What about saying commission be split 50-50?
You could still say the commission could be split 50-50, but again, the contract is the MLS. And so if you showed the property, you automatically agree to whatever was in there. So you can write whatever you want, doesn't mean you're gonna get it. And then what happens when they come back and say no, and your buyer's like, but I really want this house? Or are you gonna say, well, they wouldn't split the commission with me, so I'm not buying the house? Or you're not buying it. You're not gonna do that.
Right. Right.
All right, we could talk about this all
Yep,
day. One
yep.
last thing that I wanted to bring up, Holly brought to our attention over the weekend. It is a legitimate thing, and if you see this out there, it's worth taking a look at. I will say this, things usually start on the east and west coast and come into Ohio. It might be a while before we see this, but we've all seen wholesalers, we've all seen investors. Well, there is a company out there, and I believe they used to be affiliated with Keller Williams. It was an agent, but it's called Zoom USA. And basically, or I'm sorry, Zoom Casa Investors. And basically, they will come in and they will negotiate with a seller. So let's say you have a listing and Casa gives you an offer. They're gonna send you an email. They're gonna say, hey, I know you have this house listed for $100,000. I'm willing to pay you $90,000 for it. By the way, I will pay your seller up to 70% of the appraised value to get the deal closed. I'm going to buy it for 90. The post renovations I'm gonna do to it make the house worth 130. And when I sell the property, I'm gonna give your seller that other 30% of the appraised value, right? So if you follow that, the house appraises for, let's just say, $90,000, let's just say 100, that's easy, $100,000. As the investor, I'm gonna pay your seller $70,000, let's close on the property, we're gonna have a contract that says, I'm gonna give you the other $30,000 when I resell the home in X amount of days or months. I'm gonna go in and rehab it. Now your seller has their money to go buy their next house or move out of state or do whatever they're gonna do, and they have nothing more to do with the property. And then when I, as the investor, resell the property, I'm gonna give you the other $30,000, which made you completely whole. That's a legitimate thing and it's happening. So if you see that, it's not a scam. I don't know if we'll see it anytime soon, but we might. But it's also a great business idea. I mean, even for us, I have to say that's pretty neat to not have to pay all of that money until you actually get it on the back end.
Who holds those funds? Is it the title company or does the broker hold that funds? Like, say after the 30,000, who holds that money?
I would assume that nobody's holding the money. It's a contract
Yeah.
that says that I owe you the funds.
The original
so it's just
buyer.
gonna be-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when
It's a
would
contract.
you get paid?
You would get paid at the original.
The
closing.
original of the,
You get paid at the original closing for the negotiated price. The seller just doesn't get all their funds until a couple months later.
yeah, it's an interesting concept.
But we
We are
gotta get
short,
going.
we're short on time. We have a special guest here, who's coming from a ribbon cutting or a baby kissing or whatever it is you're doing. Brooke, this is a great, yeah. Yeah, this fits well with our conversation today. Many of you have seen her signs around town. I know I have, but join me in welcoming Brooke Harless, who is our Star Government Affairs Director. Is that the right title?
It is, and
All
I
right.
see the food is out there, so I won't take much of your time because I know how people are when they want to eat and they get hangry, and I didn't know I was gonna have Rockstar Slash here. So, I definitely won't take a lot of your time. I'm here to talk to you about RCAP and what it means. Why should you invest? Rich was talking about all the problems that are going on right now. When you elect officials in the government, in Congress, statewide, state auditor, or any of them, they all are speaking for us. When we want something done, say we have a problem with short-term rentals, say we have a problem with flood insurance, we have to contact them and we have to get them to understand why we are upset with it, why we want something changed. But in order to elect those officials that will be able to be our voice, we need to raise money. And to raise money, we contribute to RCAP. The flyers that are being passed around or the cards, they explain different levels. You can donate $5. It can go as low as you want, every dollar counts. And when we have those funds, then we can go and we can interview the elected officials or the ones that are running for elected office to see who would be our advocates for us. And that's who we need to be and to have our voice. Now, the way we raise money also, we try to make it a little fun. We try not to do anything boring. We go in May, we go to Trumbull County because we do cover Trumbull County and Carroll County, as well as a small sliver of Mahoney County. We have our PAC event there. It's a dinner, live auction, silent auction, great time. Usually everybody should wear their Thanksgiving pants because it's a lot of food and everybody's happy. Now we're going in the fall, we're having a new style event that we are having in a week, and it's Realtor Family Feud. We have the 6 teams already registered. They will be competing for, I believe Samantha's on one of the teams. There's
I'm on
Rich
one.
is on a team. Yep.
Yep.
There's a few people on the team here. And we're gonna have a big trophy to see who's gonna win the trophy.
Let's go.
And we also are having wine vendors there. We're having beer vendors and alcohol vendors. So we're gonna have wine and beer tastings. We're also gonna have 2 comedians. So we're gonna make it a fun night. You probably would spend this amount of money that we're asking, which is $50, 25 of which goes to your RPAC contribution.
That's great.
The other 25 is to cover for the vendors, the trophy, the food, and we're gonna have a lot of food. We have beef stroganoff, chicken cacciatore, we have rigatoni, we have salad, we have corn, we have our gratin potatoes. We also
Sounds like you're cooking.
I know. I love to cook. I am Italian. We have a lady who just won 2023 Best Bakery. She is donating all the treats. So she is
Nice.
bringing the treats there. We also have the 2 comedians doing 20-minute stand-up routines. And the one is going to be the one that's running the Realtor Feud. So we're asking, please come. You spend $50 probably if you're going to a local restaurant with a meal nowadays and 1 drink or 2 drinks. And this is actually going for a really good cause because next year we're gonna have a lot of people on the ballot. It's a presidential year. We're gonna have a lot of people going for Congress, Senate. We need to be able to elect the right voices that are gonna be our advocates.
Awesome.
If you have any questions, my name and number is on the website. Star website is also down here. We have this on our website. Tickets are on sale until the 16th. That's when I have to give the head count in. And I am always available. So
Awesome. Thanks,
that's
Brooke.
all I have.
Appreciate you. All right, almost last, I think. Gina has graciously yielded her moment.
That's good.
I know it was going to be riveting. Sophia, did you have an update from your corner as it relates to essential leverage? If so, unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Yeah, so just really quick, I know you guys are crunched for time. We have some great marketing things going on, and we have some great programs for people that are in productivity as well. We have scripts, we have everything. I do all the editing, so I know a lot of people don't have time for social media and marketing. I know I have a lot of people who are just like, I just don't have time to maintain that. So that's where I come in, and I can get everything set up and going for you and make it productive for you so you can concentrate on deals. And that's what I'm here for. So if you have any questions or you need anything, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll go over all the packages we have and the pricing and what it entails for you and how it makes your business move smoother.
Awesome. Thanks, Sophia. Appreciate you. All those
Thanks.
graphics just spiraling behind you.
I know.
Awesome. Well, we are at time. One final quick announcement is we announced the agent referral contest. We're going to draw that at the end of the day today. So if you have any more cards to drop off with Nicole or Amanda, please do. We're going to draw and do the little spinny thing on Facebook this afternoon. Amanda, any lunchy instructions? What's that? Let him eat. I thought you said cut the meat. I was like, what are we? Pork carving back there? Awesome. Yeah, Justin. Oh, yeah. Thank you. So Shauna, Buyer, and Rick, his last name is evading me. They run an agent referral property management program. They're with Icon Property Management. They do good work. I know many of you refer to them already, but grab some food. In a few minutes, they're going to come in and talk just briefly about kind of what that looks like and how you can kind of partner with them for those of you who work with investors in particular. So hang around, chat with Rick and Shauna as well. Thank you, Justin, for that announcement. All right, cut the meat and come on back in here in a few minutes.